I was 18 when I married Amir. The whole village came together. Ours was a love marriage, but both families agreed with the decision. My in-laws interfered a bit when I had our son, but there are far worse stories than mine. Amir would never speak against his mother. It's just our way with mothers and sons. Still, I found it hard at times. Within 2 years, we had another baby, but I was soon working back in the fields and also looking after both the children. Amir began to inquire about working overseas to earn more money for the family. It quickly became the only topic he spoke about. In our culture, the wife isn't consulted about these large family decisions. Even though there is love between Amir and I don't have a voice. I just have to accept it and make it work. It's frustrating. As soon as his mind was made up, things moved fast. Amir quickly secured a loan from an agent that covered all the visas and travel expenses, and job opportunities in Malaysia were coming through. I was so nervous about him going and also the 36% interest on the loan. But Amir convinced me that he would be able to pay it back within the first year and would be back home before I knew it. All I could do was support my husband and help him buy some nice things for his trip. There was no point expressing my fears, but I couldn't imagine him being away for 3 years. And just like that, he was gone. My days were relentless without any help or support. I missed Amir terribly and I worried for his safety. Finally, after 2 weeks, Amir called from Malaysia. He said he was fine and comfortable, but didn't give any details. When our husbands are in foreign employment, it's in our culture not to complain to each other so as not to make the other feel bad. That is considerate, but it means we never really know how we're truly feeling. I had no idea what work Amir was doing in Malaysia. He just told me that he had lots of friends there from Nepal and everything was fine. From early January, the news about COVID-19 grew more scary. Everyone in the village was talking about it, but we didn't understand what precautions to take, so we carried on as normal. I didn't know what the situation in Malaysia was like, and Amir didn't give me much news. He just said it was fine and not to worry. I got increasingly frustrated that Amir and I could not communicate clearly. He just kept telling me not to worry. But what am I supposed to do when it's all I hear on the radio? I'm alone and it's scary. I only learned much later that Amir was working in a PPE factory and had to keep working regardless. Maybe it was best that he didn't tell me at the time, as the worry would have killed me. And then the lockdown in Nepal began. At first, we managed with some food provisions in the house and everyone in the country living the same experience. We were glued to the radio for the news. Amir kept reassuring me that he was fine and safe, but in reality, he was gambling his health for a paycheck. I didn't receive any news from Amir for a week. He told me he had to work hard and wouldn't be able to call. I was so worried. Amir was going through such heartache in Malaysia, losing a friend to COVID and the fear of contracting it himself. He always sounded so cheerful on the phone, and I thank him for not adding to my worries. It was breaking my heart not to feed my children properly, but as all the banks were closed, I couldn't access any money and Amir couldn't send any to me. I never dreamt things would get this bad. I was just starting to pay back what we took for Amir's loan, and I wondered if he would give us more money to see us through this period. I heard many people had been unable to pay him back, but I had no choice than to ask my father-in-law to try. My father-in-law didn't have any luck with the money lender. They were also struggling, so he had no choice but to sell my jewelry. Jewelry is the only financial security us Nepalese women have, so I was upset to lose it, but my gold wasn't going to fill my children's bellies. Even my mother-in-law gave her jewelry for the sake of all of us. My father-in-law managed to get us a small amount of money that would tide us over for a bit longer. Unbeknown to me, Amir continued to work in the dangerous situation every day at the factory with no protection. But he had no choice. The loan he took was 36% interest and needed to be paid. The stress of managing a loan through those months became unbearable. My in-laws were growing old quickly. Father seemed to have aged 10 years in the last 2 with worry. Anxious about Amir, the kids, money, health, my whole world was a constant stress. Finally, after 4 months, the lockdown ended and I could breathe a little. The kids went back to school, which relieved some pressure, and the banks opened so I could access money from Amir. But after all that, Amir couldn't return home for another 2 years as he had to pay off the loans and the jewelry money. I know he's doing it for us, but it's so difficult to run the family here all alone.